Loving the solidarity coming in on 4001. An awful lot of fellas out there, like me, collected the Spice Girls official photo album.
And I have to say, I'm loving the fact that Robbie just did a full rendition of Mel B in Wannabe.
Yeah, he did.
Wasn't expecting him to know all the lyrics to that, but it was very
scary.
enjoyable.
It was scary, is what it was. It was rather apt. And you tried to get your camera out to record, said Robbie Greenfield, and he almost ran off. He almost had a heart attack. But it does appear that he is talented. Were you the sixth Spice Girl, Rob?
No. I mean, we all had our dose of Spice Girls back in the day.
Oh, yes. When to become
It was like osmosis, learning via subconscious.
Oh, yes.
Sure. I'm sure you had them on repeat, Robbie.
No, yeah. I can't say that I did.
I bet you did. Right then, folks, 25-6. Loads still to come. We're going to be in conversation with a young man who I think has made more money than I've made in my entire career for collecting toys. I love this story.
He's done this all on eBay. Essentially, he was trying to figure out how to do his own collection, realized how difficult it was, and turned it into a profitable venture. We can all take a page out of his book.
Oh, yes, 250,000 dirhams to be exact. We're in conversation with him next. And one of my personal favourites on Dubai 103.8, The Chain, Fleetwood Mac, 20-6. Now then, we do speak to some interesting individuals over the piece on Off Script. This next one I'm looking forward to talk to as well. His name is Joe Watchhorn, and he's a bit of a rich fella.
Yeah, well, he's 19 years old, and basically this all started for him when he was just 12 years old. He was kind of trying to start his own collection of football cards, realized a bit of a gap in the market when he realized how difficult it was in certain respects, and through that, essentially decided to start his own business. He started buying in bulk and was able to then turn them around and starting to make a pretty handsome profit, to the point that he realized he was making more from his eBay page than he was actually through a retail job that he had picked up.
I love it. He's close to making $250,000 dirhams, and he joins us live on the line from the UK now. Joe Watchhorn, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much for answering the SOS. And there'll be a lot of people out there. It has been a strange year, as we know.
Yeah.
And you've caught on to something here. Give us a little bit of background to your business.
Yeah, so like you say, I really did stop my business out at the playground at school because it was a bit stupid how hard it was to finish your football card sets. So I thought, surely there's a way to buy individual cards without having to buy more packets. And like you say, that eventually ended up in me selling off my singles as spares and buying the singles I needed to finish my sets. And then it grew from there. And then during lockdown with coronavirus, the markets actually grew massively. And that meant that basically I took off because I was a player in the market for quite a few years. So I had a lot of stock, and so I did really well, basically.
What was the point at which you realized you could really start to make more and more of a profit and turn this into a business? Because I think it's one thing to, as you said, as an individual, buy and sell a few cards here and there is one thing. But then I think most people in their early teens don't really start to think about making money, as a deliberate choice. What was the point in which you thought, no, I really can expand on this?
Well, I think it's because when I started, I wasn't obviously doing it as regularly as I'm doing it now. And I would make sort of these large sums of money every now and then that would basically allow me to buy anything I wanted. Because at that time, I obviously don't have a lot of expenses. And the only things I really want are maybe the new video game or some new football cards. And I could actually afford those things by trading on eBay. So I said to myself, if I can do that now, then surely I can keep doing this and keep buying the stuff I want and need on a bigger scale. And then sort of March time, when lockdown hit, that's when I sort of was granted the opportunity to basically put all my energy and all my time into this. And I think it was sort of then when I realised that actually this could be something more than just a side hustle.
Joe, talk to us, paint us a picture as to the clients. Who is actually buying these cards? Because my memory of collecting cards at school is always being duped out of them by much cleverer kids than me and ending up swapping really rare cards for a bunch of really common ones. So is it people like that, or is it kind of nostalgic 40-year-olds who just are desperate to relive their childhood by buying that old set of cards they used to collect?
I think the beauty of it is that it's all of those people you've just mentioned. So the top end of the market is those 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds who have the big bucks to spend on the really rare cards that they couldn't get when they were kids. But there's also people like me who really enjoy what they used to do, and they miss it because as you grow up, you realise you've got to do all these adult things. So, for example, I'm now at university, so I'm dealing with sort of the bills and all the stuff that you do as an adult. And that you want to escape that when you can, especially during this tough year. And when it comes to football or Pokemon or whatever you enjoy, then who doesn't enjoy finishing a set of cards, especially when you couldn't afford these cards as a kid and now you can.
Joe, can I ask, we were talking about it earlier, so you deal in football cards, you deal in Pokemon, correct?
Yeah.
Do you have any Spice Girl photos from the mid-90s?
I don't. I'm afraid I don't. I know my uncle back in the day bought some Spice Girl figures. I don't know if they're worth anything anymore.
Okay, well, I collected the Spice Girls photos unbelievably. But listen, for anyone listening to this, and I want to get a bit more detail if I can, what does your day-to-day look like? I mean, how much, you say you've invested a lot of time and energy. What does your day look like? Does it require a lot of back-end work in order to make the cash that you're making?
It does. It does require a graft. So during lockdown, when I had basically 3 days, I would be listing in the morning, so listing things onto my shop, and then in the afternoon I'd be packing them up. But now that I'm back at university, it's a bit more tricky because obviously I've got my studies and my essays to do. So effectively what I do is I have all my university work out of the way, and that's when I then get onto my computer, start researching how the market's going, to decide what to buy and what to sell. And then after that I'm packing up into the evening and running to the post office after my lectures. So it's a bit of a grind right now. But I wouldn't trade it for the world because I love it. And so I think it's important to always do what you enjoy, and I really enjoy it. So I have absolutely no complaints about putting in the extra hours.
Joe, I'm curious about what has been the most popular item. What's the biggest single sale or trade that you've made?
Oof. So I have a lot of things that I don't that are big ticket items that I'm not selling right now because, in my opinion, the market's in a little bit of a dip, and I'm waiting for it to boom again. But I remember I bought a box of Pokemon, a sealed box of Pokemon from 2009, I think they were from. So quite an old set for like 1.8k, which was basically my whole student loan at the time because I didn't need to use my student loan on my studies because it was lockdown. So I blew my whole student loan on one thing. And I flipped it in about a week for about 2.6, so I made about £800 profit basically by doing absolutely nothing.
Right, hold on a second,
All right,
Joe.
I want in. Are you employing anyone at the moment, Joe?
Not yet.
Do your parents know that you invested £1,800 in a Pokemon set? I know you flipped it, but that's a heck of a leap of faith, my friend.
To be fair, I remember on the morning I was typing in the money onto my PayPal to send to the guy I bought it from, and I was like, what am I actually doing? But then I was like, I know what I'm doing. I did it, and it paid off.
I've heard of flipping property. I've never heard of flipping Pokemon. That is brilliant.
Yeah, taking pieces of cardboard.
Listen, Joe, anyone over here in Dubai that's listening to this and wants to check out the glut of collectible items that you have, how do we track you down on eBay?
eBay is under joejoejms, so that's joejoejms. And I also have an Instagram, so if any of your listeners want to ask me any questions, I'll be happy to help and share the love for the hobby. So it's under the same name, joejoejms, that's joejoejms.
I know it's really rude, but it is the headline that caught our producer Tom's eye. 250,000 dirham, about £50,000 you have made, or at least you will make shortly, by just selling collectibles. That's amazing.
Selling collectibles, yeah. Simple as that.
And have you
it's not actually simple as it sounds.
Have you got a deposit on a house already sorted?
Not yet, but I think that might be the aim.
Oh,
that and reinvesting my profits into my business.
Oh, look at you. You're a smart man is what you are. A lot of love coming in for you on the text lines, Joe. Listen, my man, keep doing what you're doing. I'll be checking it out.
Thanks for having me.
And if you've got any little Panini stickers or anything that has a bit of nostalgia for me, I think I'll be purchasing some things from you as well. Listen, Joe, watch on.
Look in your cupboards as well. Find your old stickers. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. You're absolutely right. Joe Watchorn, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Lovely to hear from a young man who's got that entrepreneurial spirit. He's making 250,000 dirhams.